relax, close your eyes, invoke and rest in the presence, and hold space.
Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari.
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that means literally community of truth. It could be any spiritual community where two or more people on the path of awakening and the flowering of the heart come together to share their journeys. The Flowering Heart Satsang is informal. We don't have a membership. People join us who are from different teachers, different teachings and spiritual traditions from all over the world, really, from other continents, on the other side of the planet even. What we have in common is that we're sharing this journey of flowering into oneness, of awakening and transformation. So welcome. It's an important part of the awakening journey to join together with others. We strengthen each other exponentially when we join together to share our victories, our breakthroughs, our insights, and also our crises and the roadblocks that we encounter. Although our journeys are unique, they parallel one another, and we all go through similar experiences along the way. So, thank you for being here tonight. We share throughout the satsang a transmission of grace called the Flowering Heart Blessing, a direct transmission of awakened divine consciousness, presence, love, grace. Its effect is transformative. It initiates awakening in the receiver and does so many other things. It dissolves blocks, it's healing. It's a gift from the divine that we were shown about 10 years ago. Suzanne and I have been sharing transmissions of spiritual grace for decades. But about 10 years ago, the divine said, start sharing this one. It's very heart-centered. The Flowering Heart Blessing awakens the sense of our connection with the divine indwelling. The fullness of the Godhead, the source in all of its fullness dwells within you at the center of your being. The Flower of the Heart Blessing catalyzes our connection with that and the beginning of its unfolding from the inside out. And that's a very special thing. The divine said, give it away, don't charge for it, and tell people when they've received it, and you're receiving it right now, that you're initiated and activated to serve as an instrument yourself. So please invite the divine to pour the Flowering Heart Blessing through you right now and through the rest of our satsang tonight to all who join us and all who will ever view this video in the future. Days from now, weeks from now, years from now. Spirit is unbounded by distance, geographically, and by time. It's always here and it's always now. So if you're watching this and you know that we recorded this 10 years ago, just open up and drink it in, because the grace is here for you now. Any other announcements?
Likes or loves and communion.
Likes or loves, yeah. If you're here on Facebook Live, give us a like or a love if you would, or some other emoji that communicates your feelings. We go in at the end and we look at your names and send you special blessings and hugs at the end. If you're on Vimeo, please write something in the chat with your real name and we'll send you blessing too. We had a very special interfaith communion with the Cosmic Christ yesterday. The subject of our meditation was merging with God, the mystical path of awakening. And it examined all the different ideas, viewpoints, and definitions of what awakening is and what the mystical path is, which focuses very much on merging with God. And I think it might, even if you already know a lot about awakening and meditative, contemplative states, I think it would clarify things for you and help bring it into perspective and maybe give you some language to help communicate to others from other teachers and teachings and traditions, people that haven't even started, what awakening is and what's possible, and the differences between so many of the viewpoints, which I won't get into unless somebody asks us about it tonight, and the mystical path. Mystical refers to the idea, in the Oxford Dictionary, that through contemplation and surrender, it is possible to merge with the divine itself. And that's a pretty lofty ideal. Some people think mystical means the occult, and that a mystic is a practitioner. No, it's a deep spiritual term that's quite old, that refers to a person that seeks full union, merging with God through contemplation and through self-surrender, which is very beautiful. But we also discussed the other approaches and paths in that teaching from yesterday. So it's right here on Facebook Live. It's also on Vimeo. It's also on YouTube. It's also on LinkedIn. So you can find it somewhere. Merging with God, the mystical path of awakening. Okay, I think that's it for announcements. Well, good. We like to open it to questions and answers on the spiritual journey, and best questions that may have been generated by your experiences, things you'd like to have more clarity, more light on. If you ask those questions, a lot of times we have the answers. And even when we don't, we turn to the divine, and the divine pours inspiration into us to share with you, and it helps everyone. So while you look inside and ask that still small voice, if there's something you might ask that would catalyze the discussion in Satsang tonight, I like to share quotes from a special website called inspiringquotes.com. And tonight, the subject of the quotes I'm going to share with you are on the transformative power of music. And this really kind of leapt out at me. I've been listening to a little more than usual. Tony Donnell is the author again. I think he was last week too. We like some of Tony's articles and contributions. Tony's an English writer of nonfiction and fiction, living on the edge. I could stop there. No, living on the edge of the Amazon jungle, which is very much the edge. And Suzanne and I both love South America and the Amazon. It's very special. So, thank you, Tony. Here we go. Here's what Tony says about the transformative power of music. No society on earth is devoid of music. From the flutes and rattles of isolated Amazonian tribes to the mass gatherings of modern festivals like Lollapalooza, music is found everywhere that humans themselves are found. The origin of music, however, will forever remain a mystery, as it occurred long before recorded history. The first musical instrument was almost certainly the human voice itself, whether humming or whistling or making some other musical sound. As for constructed instruments, they've been around for an astonishing amount of time. The oldest known musical instrument is quite likely the Divya Babe flute, discovered in 1995 in Slovenia. If this cave bear femur, pierced by evenly spaced holes, is indeed a Neanderthal flute, then we know that humans have been playing musical instruments for at least the last 50 to 60,000 years. The oldest known melody, meanwhile, is the Hurrian hymn, discovered on a clay tablet inscribed with cuneiform text. It's over 3,400 years old, and we can still listen to it. I listened to both of these things today. I listened to someone play that flute. I listened to the Hurrian hymn. Interesting stuff, and so ancient. And Tony continues, today the importance of music is widely acknowledged. It is taught in schools around the world and is used in everything from advertising to psychotherapy. And anyone who has listened to their favorite song while feeling sad or lonely knows how music can lift the spirits. The following quotes from philosophers, scientists, musicians, and more all attest to the transformative power of music, to its strange and wonderful ability to make life better. So here we go. My heart, which is so full to overflowing, has often been solaced and refreshed by music when sick and weary. Martin Luther. Music is well said to be the speech of angels. In fact, nothing among the utterances allowed to man is felt to be so divine. It brings us near to the infinite. Thomas Carlyle. I bear witness to that about the language of angels, too. Music is a higher revelation than all wisdom and philosophy. Music is the electrical soil in which the spirit lives, thinks, and invents. Ludwig von Beethoven. Music expresses that which cannot be put into words and that which cannot remain silent. Victor Hugo. I think I should have no other mortal wants if I could always have plenty of music. It seems to infuse strength into my limbs and ideas into my brain. Life seems to go on without effort when I'm filled with music. George Eliot. When I hear music, I fear no danger. I am invulnerable. I see no foe. I am related to the earliest times and to the latest. Henry David Thoreau. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. I get most joy in my life out of my violin. Albert Einstein. Thought in music. Joy, sorrow, tears, lamentation, laughter. To all these music gives voice, but in such a way that we are transported from the world of unrest to a world of peace and see reality in a new way, as if we were sitting by a mountain lake and contemplating hills and woods and clouds in the tranquil and fathomless water. Albert Schweitzer. After silence, that which comes nearest to expressing the inexpressible is music. Aldous Huxley. Music will help dissolve our perplexities, your perplexities, and purify your character and sensibilities. And in time of care and sorrow, will keep a fountain of joy alive in you. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. People ask me how I make music. I tell them I just step into it. It's like stepping into a river and joining the flow. Every moment in the river has its song. Michael Jackson. The best music is essentially there to provide you something to face the world with. Bruce Springsteen. Music can change the world because it can change people. Bono. Music can move us to the heights or depths of emotion. It can persuade us to buy something or remind us of our first date. It can lift us out of depression when nothing else can. It can get us dancing to its beat. But the power of music goes much, much farther. Indeed, music occupies more areas of our brain than language does. Humans are a musical species. Oliver Sacks. I think music in itself is healing. It's an explosive expression of humanity. It's something we are all touched by. No matter what culture you're from, everyone loves music. Billy Joel. Music has healing power. It has the ability to take people out of themselves for a few hours. Elton John. So I say, thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it, I ask in all honesty? What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. Abba. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Love it.
Wasn't there something about the Hubble telescope when they sent it out into space, they put music on a gold record?
Well, it was a time capsule that was it on the Hubble? It was on one of those deep space Voyagers.
Right.
That we thought might be encountered if there is extraterrestrial intelligence, and there is. If they were to encounter one of these Voyager capsules, we share our music with them.
Yeah.
Because while they may not understand our words, they would understand Beethoven, Bach, and others. Absolutely. Beautiful. I always love that about Einstein. He thought in music.
That's fascinating.
If I wasn't a physicist, I would be a musician. And the greatest joy in my life comes from my violin. And he meant it. That was absolute truth. From that guy. Sandra? Namaste, bendiciones, abrazos desde Uruguay. A ti también, de nosotros. Michael Christopher, did the camera die on the Mass? It was only 47 minutes.
Huh.
Is that true? If that is true, that would be a great loss. I'll check my computer because I don't show that we lost the transmission at all. So I vary, even if it, does anyone else say, yes, it did, but I think only in Facebook. I watched the repetition. Oh. So where did you watch the repetition, Ekaterina? That would be helpful. Was the repetition on Facebook after the fact? Sometimes I get so upset with these online technologies. But yes, if you would, please tell us, Ekaterina, where you found the replay. On Vimeo. So it looks like Facebook may have dropped out, which is terrible. And if it did, I will certainly...
Can you take it off of Vimeo? And
I have it. I have the video. I'll upload it to Facebook. And if you tried to watch it there and couldn't see it, I almost want to send out an email over that one. I might.
Thank you for pointing it out, Michael.
Yeah, very useful. Wow. So, Paul Wyman, on the subject of music, AI have found that there are many versions of the Mula Mantra that I play at home and when driving that help create a peaceful space. Yeah. I don't know why you added AI. Oh, AI helped you find it, I guess. Yeah, there are so many, countless versions of that mantra. And actually, someone shared with me long ago that it didn't begin with Amo Bhagwan, that the Mula Mantra was actually written, and it's somewhere in the Tantras, and I've not been able to find it. So if you find it, let me know. It was a love song written by Shiva for his spouse, Parvati. So Shiva wrote a love song for Parvati, Shiva being one of the Hindu deities, and that was supposedly the Mula Mantra, which makes a lot of sense to me. But early on in the ancient days of this movement in India called the Oneness Movement, it was adopted for two avatar teachers there as their seed mantra. So everybody, and only thing you can find on the internet that I always points to them, but I think it's older than that. So maybe someone can share with us the source. Beautiful mantra. I was just reading today about the Gayatri mantra, which is another ancient and powerful mantra that I often play before our webcasts because it just clears space. And while it's a very ancient mantra, which is from the deity Gayatri, who is an aspect of deity in Hindu teaching that consumes and dissolves karma, which is a very nice thing. That mantra, which many people have heard of it now, like the Mula Mantra, was introduced to the world vastly all around the world by Deva Premal. And very grateful.
Yeah, the way she sings it, it just kind of gets into your soul and you can sing along with her after you've heard it a few times. It just kind of slips right in. But if you read it and try and memorize it, it's a very difficult mantra, but she's really made it accessible through the music.
Mm-hmm. So, and Michael Christopher writes Voyager 1. I thought it was a Voyager.
Thank you.
I said I thought it was one of those Voyagers.
Yeah.
Not the Hubble.
And I think they printed it on gold because a vinyl record wouldn't survive out in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I seem to remember that. And then Michael says, "You're welcome."
Okay.
So are there any other inspiring questions other than what happened to the video recording yesterday? That's such a loss because...
Well, you've got it, so it can come back.
I've got it, but I know that a whole bunch of people have tried to watch it. I've looked at the numbers. And you're the first one that said it wasn't up there, all of it.
Right. It was a long one, so.
It was, but it's...
it only captured like half of it.
It's virtually a dissertation in the states, the mystical states that lead to full permanent divine union. And it brings together the Hindu teachings on various levels of samadhi and shows how they're exactly the same as some of the stages of contemplative prayer leading to the transforming union in mystical Christian teaching. The very same experiences that the mystics have. And we shared various practices that contribute to the cultivation and opening to divine grace, which is the agency that can draw us in and dissolve us forever in oneness, which is a good thing, indeed. And the difference between altered states, so many people experience peak states, enlightened states, which are temporary. They might even last for a couple of years. Usually they're just for minutes or hours. And they think they're awakened. But a peak state is not awakening, it's a peekaboo. and it's temporary. And it's very important because it shows what's possible. But full awakening is where that those peak states merge permanently with ordinary consciousness in day-to-day life once and for all. And the transcendent is here with us at the same time we're doing what we're doing. So it's not a trance, it's not being caught up into some state way off in space. That space merges with us and our ordinary activity here and now. You might remember the Zen proverb that says, before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. It's a very different experience because at that point, the complete awareness of transcendence has merged with that simple, ordinary activity of chopping wood and carry water. You still might cut a finger, stub a toe, life goes on, but with a dimension permanently infused that is a whole other deal. And in the Hindu teaching, it's called Sahaj Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In mystical Christianity, it's called the Transforming Union. In Zen, it's the 10th ox herding picture. It's full enlightenment. So, interesting stuff. You might want to dig out that recording and watch it. Especially you, Michael. Consider it something you just ought to do. We even mentioned sort of the approaches to enlightenment that Taoism takes, and Taoist alchemy, and Tibetan Buddhist yogic cultivation. Different stuff. So, I hope I've pricked your curiosity if you didn't get to watch the whole thing. So, any other questions? We can wait a minute because we're ahead of schedule, which is fine with me. Sweet. The mind is in a state of rest tonight. It's nice. Let me check over here at Vimeo. No questions at Vimeo either. So then, anything you'd like to share?
Not that I can think of.
Let's see. No, I hear that was enough. Just a little bit about stages and states and full awakening and the mystical path versus other approaches. Yeah. Yippers? Okay, I don't want to say any more because I want you all to watch it. And if it re-pricked your appetite and you did see the whole thing, watch it again. Because actually, that was the culmination of a lifetime of insight and working with people and study. Information that was in my doctoral dissertation for my doctorate in theology, which had to do with levels of meditation and contemplative prayer leading to union in multiple traditions. So it was fun to go review some of that myself. It was Suzanne and I were sitting around about a month ago, and Suzanne she just had this insight that people don't really know what awakening is. There are all these awakened people running around with egos. And or a certain spiritual pride about it when currently they're not in an enlightened state. They've experienced it, they've taken dips, but it hasn't remained permanently. And there's so many signposts and stages that if you recognize them, it helps you keep going. Because there's a tremendous amount of inner work to do after we begin to experience those peak states, which is just the beginning for most of us.
Okay.
Well, Ekaterina asks a very Christian question, but I'm willing to answer it. Keep in mind, everybody, this is an interfaith satsang, but Ekaterina says, because you talk more about asking the Father in the name of Jesus. Because there were certain scriptures, 3 very short ones, that demonstrated the state of divine union that Jesus was experiencing. And the first one, he said, "My Father and I are one." And they started to pick up stones to stone him for that. He said, "Why would you do that? Your word, your scriptures say you are God's. So why would you stone me because I said I'm Son of God?" But anyway, so he said, "My Father and I are one." And then a few chapters later in John's Gospel, he says, "The Father is greater than I am." Well, that sort of brings it into a certain balance. And then a few chapters later, he says, "You will ask me nothing in prayer. Ask the Father in my name because he loves you. And I'm not saying I will pray to him for you. I'm not going to do that. From now on, you begin to speak directly to the Father." But he threw that thing and asked in my name. Well, for a Christian, Jesus sort of invites you into sharing his relationship with the Father. And the benefits of the incredible karmic work he did on earth, which removes sin and sickness and all kinds of impediments, but density and darkness that plagues humanity. For his direct disciples, he lifts that. And he says, when you go to the Father, you can ask in my name. So it's like, who's Michael Milner? So I could walk before the Father and say, "Hey, Father, I'm here in Jesus' name." Now, what's the difference? Well, it's like power of attorney. I mean, we've all got spiritual wealth. Jesus had and has an exceptional amount. And it's like when someone in the legal world gives you power of attorney, you can go to the bank and write a check and sign their name because you have power of attorney. You can appear before the court and ask for certain benefits, certain help on your behalf, and you're using the name of this person who has perfect standing with the courts, with wealth, with the universe. I mean, as far as mystics go, he's the mystic of mystics. And you can't get higher than the state and the relationship and the karmic sat karma account that Christ has. He says, "You've got my bank, you've got my name, use it." So it's like that. It's kind of a strange understanding, because the Father himself loves you, every one of us. So you can just go yourself and ask the Father or the Mother, however you relate to the Absolute, for grace, for help, and God will give it to you. But there's a reason why people advance so quickly when they have a God-realized saint as their guru. That saint has a facilitated relationship with the divine that can help you move so quickly because you're in relationship with them. So there can be great benefit from being in relationship with a saint or a God-realized master or someone like that. That's all. So he's saying you can use my name. But I would point out that I don't think that was flippant. I think he meant that if you are in an actual relationship with me, you can use my name. But you can use the name of whatever form of the divine that you are in relationship with. or whatever God realized being or saint has been like your link, your go-between with the absolute. So I'm just saying. Did that make sense? Good. Okay. And you're welcome, Stacy. Namaste from us to you too. Okay, I think now it's time to dive in. Well, those specific theological questions from a specific religion get me nervous. Yeah, I could have answered a question about Zen or Hinduism or Taoism too. But,
which is perfect.
Which is perfect. And
anybody's free to ask whatever questions
and
they
that
want
came up in the sermon because he said, the Father and I are one. The Father is greater than I am. But the third one, he said, is not my will, but your will be done, Father. So they're one, but the Father is greater than him, and he recognized that there were two wills going on in him. His human nature had a desire to do its thing, and the divine nature within him wanted to do the Father's will. And so he said, not my will, but your will be done. So there's a certain humility surrender that stays with us even when we merge with God. We may experience, oh, I am one with God. But God is still greater. And yet we're one. And we're invited continually to surrender our own personal will for the will of the Absolute, which is only for the greater good. So, lovely. Thank you for that question. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Love you, Ekaterina. So let's close our eyes. And I will upload that video after we're done tonight. I won't wait. I'll do it. It'll be up later tonight. So close your eyes if you would and invoke the presence, the fullness, the absolute fullness of the Godhead, of Source, of the divine presence dwells within you. And in me, and in Suzanne. It's a mystery. But you see, Spirit can be everywhere simultaneously all at once. And so it's not just a drop of God you have in you, you have the entire fullness of the divine residing within you. Invoke that presence to flood you with grace. This presence is pure unconditional love and loves you exactly as you are. It knows all your faults. It knows everything you've ever done and everything you will ever do. And it loves you all the same. Receive that love. Accept it. Drink it in. Soak it up. Breathe it in. The presence wants to flood you with light and love, grace, to dissolve the veil of illusion that may have given you the feeling that there's some separation between you and God. There is none. In your essence, you are one with God. Your true essence is God. And this divine presence wants to dissolve the veil of separation, which creates all of our suffering, and flood you with light, illuminating your spirit, shining out into the realm of your soul where there are thoughts and feelings and will and programming and memories, and dissolve all that is dark and destructive and fill you with divinely inspired ideas, thoughts, feelings, plans. Just receive and allow. will shine not only from your spirit out into your soul, but your physical body, the outer layer of your being, to heal you, to dissolve dis-ease. Receive the healing grace that is flooding you now. It will shine out into your relationships to heal and make them right. Just allow it and receive the ocean of love and grace that's pouring out within you right now. Just relax and let yourself be drawn in by love, drawn into the center by the divine itself. Imagine that we're sitting in a circle with our eyes closed. Lift up your hands with your palms opened, turned forward, and invite the divine presence to pour the flowering heart blessing through you to all who are seated in the circle with you. As it flows through you, it is transforming. Back to you through all the others. Let us ask for peace on earth. See the planet Earth in the middle of our circle, the translucent, living, blue planet, alive, filled with life. 8 billion plus human beings. May their hearts, we invite the divine to melt away fear by flooding every heart of every human being on earth with transcendent, unconditional love. Melting away fear. Melting away hatred. Melting all 8 billion human hearts into one heart, one love, one unified being. Truth, we are all one. Now you could relax. Rest your hands in your lap somewhere and open your eyes. As we dive into the light meditation, Suzanne and I are filled with oceans of light, grace, and love for you. And it pours through every fiber of our being to you, especially through our eyes, the windows of the soul. So just keep making direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me. Keep gazing at least one of our eyes. That's all you need to do, and receive. There's nothing you need to ask or do. Just keep looking and receive. The light streams out through our eyes, in through your eyes, into your heart of hearts, to cause the fires of divine love and the light of awakening to burn brighter and brighter within you. as long as it feels good to you, or lie down nearby in Shavasana. To lie in Shavasana is to lie comfortably on your back somewhere with your eyes closed. Your arms loosely at your sides with your palms open, turned upward. And just let yourself dissolve in gratitude in the divine presence. We love you so much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Until we meet again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine in you. And we bow to you.